What's up, taters? This is Tree from treeofalogic.com, and I got a video. Listen, I'm doing my best to try to get them out. It's just that the news lately has not really been, the best. But I found a news article that I think you all will find enjoyable, and I have some video clips to go with it. So we have these people that are illegally coming into our country called illegal immigrants or illegal aliens or illegal immigrant aliens, whatever you want to say. These are people who came into our country uninvited, without permission, and were not given a pass. So they are, by the textbook of the law, criminals. Yet still, they're coming into sanctuary cities and they're coming into places where they're housing these immigrants, and now they're getting a little bit bossy. They are asking for special privileges. They are not going according to the rules that the cities or certain type of shelters are putting in place, and they decided they just want to just live on the grid. Well, that's not the case. As you can see right here, Denver, we're going to talk about the Denver migrants because they're living on private property that belongs to a railroad station, I do believe. Let me just, because I got a video that comes after this, but it has a happy ending. So you want to stay tuned for that. Denver migrants. Okay. Oh, sorry. Denver migrants sent Mayor Mike Johnson list of 13 demands as they refuse to clear encampment, move into shelter. Let's go ahead and watch this, and trust me, you're gonna find this amazing.
Also here tonight, a group of migrants staying at an encampment sending a list of demands to the desk of the mayor of Denver.
And if the demands are met, they say that they'll leave their encampment and move to a city-funded shelter. Oxford Rogelio Male is joining us live with both sides of this issue on New at 9. Rogelio.
Yeah, Eric and Jeremy, it's kind of a tug of war between both sides. On one side, you've got the migrants who say the city reneged on a deal they made with them. On the other side, you've got the city lobbying these migrants to get off the streets and into shelters, telling us tonight these benefits are available to them as long as they're staying in those city-funded shelters.
The camp as a collective came up with a list of demands.
That came after a petition by city officials for migrants to move from this encampment near train tracks under a bridge to indoor shelters funded by the city.
This morning they sent
what they're doing is the way they're living in their country, they're just bringing it here to live this way in ours. I mean, go back and live in your own country where you have your own language and I guess they don't live that good in their own country, so it is what it is.
Buses to take people over without presenting that document and without having any kind of signature for accountability.
That's what migrant advocate V. Reeves says the city responded with instead of meeting the migrants' demands.
We've been offering time and shelter, basically just trying to get families to leave that camp and come inside. John
Ewing with Denver Human Services says shelter comes with its perks, namely getting out of these conditions outdoors.
Which comes with, 3 square meals a day. You can cook your own if you'd like to.
That is one of the main demands by these migrants who have had their grievances in the past about the food provided by the city.
There have been so many complaints about the food being spoiled or not being enough and malnutrition amongst children.
Migrants who do stay in shelters are often put on a path toward a work permit. Reeves says these folks haven't received the same benefits.
They're not receiving any kind of official housing or immigration document support, which is incredibly necessary for them to be able to navigate the bureaucracy around these systems.
The city says its own offer comes with these benefits.
What do you qualify for? What do you not qualify for? What might be something that is a feasible path for you to success that is not staying on the streets of Denver? We try to compromise. We try to figure something out. At the end of the day, what we do not want.
Look at that trash. Look at this. And of course, the city's going to have to pay to remove all that when they leave, when they get evacuated.
His families on the streets of Denver.
Yeah, so in all, the migrants sent a list of 13 demands to the city. The city, meanwhile, says it is continuing to send buses to this encampment for any migrants who change their mind and want to take that offer for city funding.
Let me show you these demands. I cannot believe that beggars are choosers. Trying to be choosers. You are not in a position to give a list of demands. You're not supposed to be here. You are here illegally. Go back where you came from if you don't like it here in our country. Listen to this. I'm going to read them and then I'm going to show you how this ends, because I told you it ended with a happy ending. It has a happy ending. So these are the 13 demands. Migrants will cook their own food with fresh, culturally appropriate ingredients provided by the city instead of pre-made meals: rice, chicken, flour, oil, butter, tomatoes, onions, etc. Also, people will not be punished for bringing in and eating outside food. Number 2, shower access will be available without time limits. What? Okay, they don't have that many people where you can just come in and willy-do and take a shower, and can be accessed whenever. So these people want to take, like, dude, outside, you get the shower. What's wrong with just washing up? We are not in the military. We're civilians. No, you are illegal aliens. Number 3, medical professionals visit will happen regularly, and referrals, connections for specialty care will be made as needed. Wow. These people. And number 4, all will receive the same housing support that has been offered to others. They cannot kick people out in 30 days without something stable established. Number 5, there needs to be a clear, just process before exiting someone for any reason, including verbal, written, or final warning. Number 6, all shelter residents will receive connections to employment support, including work permit application. I should have pre-read this. Would you like us to wash your ass as well, sir? Holy smokes. Okay, not only do I want you guys to bring me a work permit, give me a work permit, but you need to give me a job too, including work permit applications for those who qualify. Consultations for each person family with a free immigration lawyer. What? Free immigration lawyer must be arranged to process their case, and then the city will provide an ongoing legal support in the form of immigration document clinics and including transportation to relevant court. They want the lawyer. They want a lawyer. They want you to pay all the court fees, and they want you to pick them up and drive them to the court. Holy smokes, dude. Okay, where did I leave off at? Oh my God, dude. This is just amazing. Woo, child. Okay, here we go. I was at number 8. The city will provide privacy for families, individuals within the shelter. Sorry, that's not possible. That's why it's called a shelter. No more verbal and physical or mental abuse will be permitted from the start, including no sheriff sleeping inside and monitoring 24/7. We need police officers and law enforcement officers, because once again, you're a criminal, and we got to protect the children, because some of y'all can be very grape. We are not criminals. Yes, you are, and won't be treated as such. Yes, you will. If you don't like it, go back. And number 10, transportation for all children to and from their schools will be provided until they finish in 3 weeks. That's fair. 11, no separating families regardless of if family members have children or not. The camp will stay together. The camp. Number 12, the city must schedule a meeting with the mayor and those directly involved in running the newcomer program ASAP to discuss further improvement and way to support migrants. And last but not least, the city, number 13, by the way, the city must provide all residents with a document signed by the city officials in English and Spanish. Amazing. With all these demands, that includes a number to call to report mistreatment. Quote, we've been offering time and shelter, basically just trying to get families to leave the camp and come inside. Denver Human Services spokesperson Juan Ewing told the outlet. So here's the good news. The good news is that they got kicked out after all. Let's go to that. This is such a beautiful sight. Like, you don't make no demands here. This is our country. You don't like it, go back. Go back. Go back where you came from. All right, here we go.
Denver swept one migrant camp this morning and swept a second after the migrants moved. Close to 100 people were staying at the first camp, located on private property in Central Park. When they moved, the city swept in again. 9 News reporter Angeline McCall has been following this all day for us. Angeline, some only accepted shelter after a compromise.
Yeah, it took a lot of bargaining for migrants to accept shelter. A lot of people didn't want that shelter option because they just felt like they couldn't get a guarantee from the city as to what would happen. And so many of them came to the second encampment that they set up sort of off of Pena Boulevard. And so you'll see behind me, this is what's left of the second encampment. This is where people came when they were originally swept from the initial location, which was in Central Park, sort of by the railroad. It was on railroad property, which is what prompted that city sweep. Now, people were really frustrated with the arrangement earlier this morning, to the point where one man who left his family in Venezuela to work here in the United States said that he was so at his wit's end that he wanted to take a bus ticket out of the city.
Estamos cansados. Por eso es que tomó la decisión de irme, porque buscar.
Once again, none of them speak English. They need to mandate it that you have to speak the language. When I was living in Germany, I didn't have to speak the language, but I made sure I spoke the language. I made sure I was an asset to that country, not a liability. That's not what we're getting here.
Lo que encuentra, yo no puedo estar todo el tiempo viviendo en la calle así. Yo tengo familia. No puedo.
Oscar was at the original location, then moved to the second location, but when police came to kick him out, that is when he said he had enough. That's when he said that he wanted that bus ticket. Afterwards, however, the city changed those terms, so in the end, he and everyone else at the second camp decided to take up the offer, and now all of them are in a Denver shelter this evening.
Oh, today we were really strongly encouraging folks to come inside for everyone's safety, especially the safety of the children. And the solution is to bring them inside for a meaningful length of time with very strong case management to help every family and the individuals make a plan that's appropriate for their situation.
That meaningful length of time, the city initially offered single adults here alone 3 days. They upped it to 7 days. Families get 30 days. That remain unchanged. However, we know the cycle continues. We know that this is not the only encampment that was set up from that original location, and so many of them are still on the streets tonight. That cycle continues. I've spoken to one woman, actually, and I met her back in October. She was on the street at that point at the Zunai encampment, and she remains on the street tonight as well. And as far as I know, she's been in 4 other encampments since then.
Yeah, she's on the street for her own doing, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, you can always go back. You can always go back. And I'm not dealing with this, oh, poor me. Here's my list of demands. No. Even though I'm not a resident of Denver, thank God. I mean, the entitlement of these people. Like, really? Anyway, I found this to be pretty interesting, so I decided to do a video on it. It's, as the elections is coming, is something about this year, and I don't think it's just me. It's just this year, when it comes to politics, when it comes to this being an election year, it's not exciting. It's not. They got Trump hung up in those courts. Thank God the court system in Florida was postponed. And it's like one thing after another, and like these immigrants coming into these cities, and we understand why that's happening. So yeah, I just doing my best to come up with some content so that I can keep my channel active. But anyway, let me know what you think about this hot mess here with these immigrants being privileged. Don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Later, taters.